guys, Helen Hart Smith here again from the Heart of the Witch's Path YouTube channel, and I'm coming at you with another fiction book series review. If you saw the video that I did a few weeks ago where I talked about my impressions on the Cassandra Clare series, The Infernal Devices, which is a trilogy. I talked about that series, and the series that I'm going to talk about today is actually by the same author, and it's part of the same world. So I'm going to go ahead and link that video below, and you can check it out and kind of see if you're, you know, between the two of these, if these are some books that you're interested in checking out. So these books are a young adult. They're considered young adult. And as I said, they're by Cassandra Clare. And this series is called The Mortal Instruments. Now, you may have heard of the movie based on the first book that starred Lily Collins and Jamie Campbell Bower and Jonathan Rhys Meyers. And was there anybody else that like really stands out? There were other people in it, but those were kind of like some of the big names. There's also a television series based on these books that is on the network Freeform, which used to be ABC Family. And I'm not going to talk about either of those. Let's just leave it at that. So this particular series of books, I feel like I'm saying series a lot, so I'm really sorry. I'm going to try to like reduce that a number, but anyhow, this set of books is actually 6. Most of Cassandra's series are 3 books, so they're like a trilogy. But this is the main body of work and where she started, and there are 6 books. So the first book is called City of Bones. So and this is, I want to say that these books, I'm trying to remember if they came out in hardcover or if they at first came out into this softcover. And I don't really remember. I remember that I got onto these books pretty much as soon as they came out. So I should have checked this earlier. I didn't even think about that. I want to look for a 2007. So this has a 2007 date. It's got the raised stuff. So this is a first printing. So this, like I said, this is the first book. The second book is City of Ashes. This series takes place in New York City for the most part. This is the third book, City of Glass. And the first 3 I have in this larger sized soft cover. And I don't have all of the books from this series. This is the 4th book, City of Fallen Angels. This is one that I have in hardcover. And then I don't have the final 2 books. So I have it brought up here because I tend to get the titles kind of mixed up. So the 5th book is City of Lost Souls. And the 6th and final book is City of Heavenly Fire. So these kind of came out like relatively close to each other. That first book has a 2007 copyright date. The second book is 2008. The third book, I'm going to guess, is 2009. So it looks like she's doing about a book a year. And I want to say that these first 3 books were probably out first. These were the first books. And then she went and she started the Mortal Instruments series. And so the first book in that is Clockwork Angel. And then she kind of did some staggering. And she has plans for at least 2 other trilogies that again are part of this world, but there'll be different characters and different time periods. Because if you did, the first trilogy takes place in Victorian London. This takes place in modern day New York City, like I said. And so what did I think about the series? Well, overall, I really enjoyed it. I enjoy the world. I think that Cassandra Clare did a really interesting job of making a world that was new and different. I went through a phase where I was reading quite a bit of young adult fiction, as I think a lot of people did. I went through the Twilight phase. I went through the Mockingbird or Mockingjay series, the Hunger Games, sorry, and stuff like that. And so these books came out relatively around the same time. And so the reason that I don't have all the books is because for me, I actually get through a book faster if I listen to the audiobooks. So I listened to all of these on audio. And actually I listened to like the first 3 a while ago, and they're books that I kind of go back to every now and then. So like I said, I really like the world. This story is about Nephilim. The main characters are known as shadow hunters, and they are half human, half Nephilim. They were created by the angel Raziel, and they were given special powers, and their purpose on Earth is to protect the inhabitants from demons and from other known as downworlders, other folks. Those are other folks in the supernatural realm, like vampires and fae and werewolves and things like that. So that's all a part of this world as well. And so the shadow hunters protect humanity from those types of creatures. And so there's the main character is a young girl named Clary Frey. And she, come to find out, is a shadow hunter, but her mom ran away from that world and hid because Clary's father was a marginally crazy dude. And so they were hiding out in New York City. And so Clary grows up, you know, she's about 15, I think, when the books start. And she starts to see things and things that aren't necessarily there. And she meets this boy named Jace, who is he's either her same age or he's a year older than she is. I think he's a year older because I think he's about 16. And so he and his adopted siblings are shadow hunters. And so that's where the ball kind of starts rolling. And so Clary and Jace have a love interest that throughout the course of the 6 books, they kind of, you know, go up and down. They get thrown some curveballs and things like that. And family things play a part and different things like that. And one thing that I really like about this series overall is that, yes, Clary and Jace are at the center of this story, and they tend to drive a lot of things, but there's a lot of other characters that are involved, like the adopted siblings, which their names are Alec and Isabel, and there's Clary's friend Simon, who gets pulled into things. There's the awesome and wonderful warlock that is Magnus Bane. Love him. And one thing that I will say about the television show that's based on these books, the actor that plays Magnus Bane is, if you're a Glee fan, you'll recognize this name, Harry Shrum Jr. And I'm here to tell you that Harry is a beacon of wonderful light in that show, and he plays Magnus very well, in my opinion. I believe that I like the actor's take on Magnus who played him in the movie, but Harry is definitely the brightest part, or one of 2 of the brightest parts of the show. So I find that I like those. A lot of people might consider those to be like peripheral characters because Clary and Jace are at the heart of this tale, so to speak. But I kind of enjoyed those peripheral characters more than I enjoyed Clary and Jace. And so I think that's kind of a nice twist that you don't always see. And as a matter of fact, I really liked Jace, although he could be a bit self-destructive at times, but I can see where that was part of his upbringing, and that's actually part of the world that these kids find themselves into, because all of these, with the exception of Magnus Bane, who is like a 400-year-old warlock, all of the kids are under 18. And so they're trying to navigate this world of very crazy situations and circumstances and very adult-like problems, and they're handling it like pros, to be honest. So, I like Jace. I have major issues with Clary in this series. And my big issues with Clary is that while Jace is understandably self-destructive at times, Clary is kind of an idiot. And that's just the nicest way to put it. She goes off half-cocked just about once a novel and spends half the novel trying to get out of the stupidity that she puts herself into. And I understand that some of that is probably like plot twists and different things like that. But I'm here to tell you that it did not make me like Clary. I didn't like that daredevil aspect of hers because it was ridiculous. Like it was off the charts. You're putting yourself in way too much danger for no reason. And so yeah, I'm not a big Clary fan. Luckily she kind of redeemed herself in the last book. The last book, I tell you what Cassandra Clare does is she wraps everything up in a really nice, neat, and tidy package at the end of her series, because she did the same thing with the Infernal devices. She wrapped everything, like, I did not find myself wanting in any way for what happened to this character, what happened to this character. No, as a matter of fact, she wrapped things up so well at the end of that 6th book that she resolved things that started in the Infernal Devices trilogy. She just wrapped it up gorgeously. And so, kudos to her for that, because storytellers, sometimes I think storytellers, they have a cop-out. Well, I like to leave it up to the imagination of the reader as to what happened to this character or this couple or this, that. No. Yeah, I have a great active imagination, and I'm a writer myself. And yeah, I can create all kinds of things, canon and uncanon. What I would like for you to do for me is tell me what happens to these people. You know what I mean? And so I really appreciate that about how she handled the series. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing where the next couple of sets of books go. There are 2, Lady of Midnight and Lord of Shadows. Those are the first 2 of 3 in the next series. And I don't remember what that series is called, but I mean, you can check out, her website is CassandraClare.com, I think. And there's actually a Shadowhunters wiki that is really great, with characters like who's who and different things like that when it comes to all of the books. And so that's been helpful too, because I basically did a listen of all 3 of those first Infernal Devices books, and then I got into the Mortal Instruments, and, you know, going that hardcore in a series like that, you can kind of forget who's who, especially when they pop up in another series or book or whatever, and years have passed. And so that Shadowhunter wiki is a pretty good site. And there's actually a woman that Cassandra Clare must know her. She's an artist, and she does a lot of the artwork that appears on that Shadowhunter wiki. And I think I talked about this in the Infernal Devices review. There's a tarot deck based on these characters that I would kill for. And that reminds me, I need to put it on my Christmas wish list, my Yule wish list, because I think that would be awesome. But so there's this artist that she does a lot of artwork with the characters, and it's all on that site. There's comic books, graphic novels, whatever you want to call it, that go with the books as well. I don't know if it's like a 1-for-1 thing, but there are graphic novels out there if you prefer that kind of a genre for reading. And I actually think that there's additional scenes and information and storyline that go into some of these graphic novels too. So those are some things that I would like to pick up too. And they're all out there for you to find. I actually saw that there's a coloring book too for this entire world, because I think there's characters from all different books. So I need to add that to my Yule list as well. So as far as an overall, how many broomsticks to give the series, Clary's stupidity is going to keep me from giving this series a 5 out of 5. Just because this is a young adult series, and not that Clary was like putting her... I don't want to bash on Clary too badly, but because this is a young adult series, in my opinion, I think that some of the things that she did and some of the situations that she got herself into, maybe not a great thing for young girls to kind of read about. So I'm going to give it a strong 4 out of 4, or 4 out of 5, excuse me. Strong, I don't like to do halves or anything like that, but I'm like 4.5. 4 3/4. I really like this series. So check it out if you're interested. Like I said, I will put some links below that will share, where you can go buy them. I'll share Cassandra Clare's page, that's Shadowhunter wiki page, and I will share my review for the Infernal Devices series. I think I like the Infernal Devices better than the Mortal Instruments. There's that. So, comment, thumbs up, subscribe, Instagram, check it all out. Thanks for walking the path for a little while with me. And until next time, blessed be.